What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 12 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Tamurkhan the Maggot Lord Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we have fought the first of our chieftain battles, legendary battles, whatever, for KETZAK the Befouled, who is now devoted and more or less maxed out, which is nice. We should also be able to unlock the next one belonging to KETZAK in 4 turns when the next research is completed, assuming that we don't somehow defeat one of the Elven factions. But certainly we are approaching it, and could even speed it up a little bit by switching tacks a little bit, but I think we're okay. The others still have to be allegiance up after all. In terms of what we got to do this turn, we have pretty much nothing. I think we basically moved everybody out. We tried out our new Toad Dragon friendo here, and we will be getting another one relatively shortly. Probably not right now. I mean, Tamurkhan doesn't really need it, but we definitely will be getting one as soon as we can. Just gotta figure out when we want to split off some of these units, namely Grukmar Threehorn into his Beastman army. And as somebody said in the comments, apparently you can't use the non-demonic lords for that, as they don't have anything in their tree that buffs Pestigors, which is a little bit odd, but makes sense considering these lords are shared with the Warriors of Chaos. But I feel like they should really add those on to Chaos Vanguard. I don't see why not. If Forsaken are here, why not? And it kind of feels like it makes more sense than the demonic unit leading the pile of beastmen when there are no other demonic units leading them. The demonic unit, or in the army, demonic lords and heroes have this Armor of Malady, which does include the Pestigors. So thanks for the tip, appreciate it. I would have never even thought that the mortal units couldn't buff the Pestigors, considering Pestigors are mortal. But anyway, skip the rest of this. So let's cult upgrade. We don't care about the cult upgrade. Or potentially the outpost thing. I mean, I do have access to skinwolves, but I think we have enough right now. And though if we do build a troll-focused army, we could borrow some Norscan ice trolls. Just for fun. Not because we have to, just because we can. And there's certainly an option for that. And ooh, I also noticed that you have a mission. Defeat Valmir von Raukov. Sure. I don't know where. I guess he'll have to return to Wolfenburg. We've got our friends, the Throg Norskins, or Wintertooth Norskins, coming in as well to help out and take territory. But anyway, outpost, end turn. Let's go next. Now, we did have a little bit of Northern provinces, yeah, sure. We did have a little bit in the way of money to spend, but our plagues haven't been doing a great job spreading into a few places, so hopefully we can start a new construction cost reduction plague shortly and reduce some construction costs. Siggy wants to be friends now with his last territory, but interestingly enough, still does not want to be our vassal. I mean, it's a decent amount of money, don't get me wrong, but I think after all this effort has been expended to completely destroy him, we should just knock him out. Worldwalkers will attack Laurel. Worldwalkers, what are you doing? You're at war with the Zazel, and he's bordering your territory, and you're going to declare war and go for somebody else rather than finish the job? Yeah, that's the AI for you. And did he actually sail away? Yes, he did. He's just going for Laurelorn. And not even for a Nordland first, which is also odd. Anyway, at the end of your turn, have an income of at least 6,000. Nice. Probably due to the fact that we deleted that extra lord that was costing us. And okay, we got another one of these dilemmas, which always make me concerned. Overzealousness. KETZAK the Befouled stirs frustration among your allies, fostering resentment through aggression and disregard. His constant charging into the planned artillery path, not to mention his disparaging of Hashut as no true chaos god, has enraged Ezar Doombolt. As the two allies stand close to coming to blows, the furious chaos dwarfs demand satisfaction. Well, he is a minor chaos god, so yeah. I mean, is KETZAK that wrong? Anyway, side with Ezar Doombolt. KETZAK goes too far. His devotion to Nurgle must not triumph over the need for good steel. I don't know about that. That seems like something that would make Nurgle angry and take away his corruption again. The Zealot's charges must be withheld until the barrage has ceased. And side with KETZAK. The problem is we have fealty maxed out with him. Oh man. His devotion to Nurgle must not triumph over the need for good steel. What are the odds this cripples our corruption again? I'm gonna try this. I really wish that there was a... like, either or sort of mechanic for this. Either you get fealty or you get dominance. Because once KETZAK is maxed out, it feels weird to waste these dilemmas with a significant amount of fealty available when one of them is maxed out. Unless it automatically does convert to this. I don't think it does, but well, we'll test it later when everybody's maxed out. For now, we're going to side with Azar and hope that it doesn't screw us over. Let's see what this does. A Warlord's consequences, growth -7. That's it? That's not so bad. Siding with us, our Doombolt over the zealous KETZAK has garnered the grandfather Nurgle's disapproval. Growth wanes as he shifts from... his gaze shifts from Tamurkhan. -7, that's fine. That's fine. Our growth is pretty massive everywhere, and it's not even -7 in adjacent provinces. It's presumably -7 only in those territories. Huh. 93... oh, okay, yeah, wait, I'm selecting... yeah, I think we'll be okay. I can't even see the -7 there. It probably just directly takes away... oh, it's probably faction. 10 -3. I assume that's what it is. Yeah, it's not relevant. Already produced... oh, would you look at that. Mournhell has finally returned to us and within range of this army as well. Get into it, sir. You and your new army will be needed. Settlement receives plague. Good, good, good. All those plagues plagueinating as they do. We got a standard of chaos galore and another potion of healing for us as well. A chaos steed for Rulek. I don't know who Rulek is, but he can have the chaos steed. And paternal instincts aligned as our Doombolt. Oh, that's actually... wait, this is actually quite nice. Doombolt. Yes, fire glaives and blunderbusses. More stuff for range units for Norvegicus. We just need enough of these so that we can get him to separate his army into two to get Gulator and his Forsaken on the field. As our Doombolt, you still have to head towards this. That was definitely worth the growth, I think. And just to get those units up in our armies earlier. Norvegicus. I see you have no more room for units, so we will need to add the... well, I mean, I guess we could delete the Marauders. They don't actually serve much of a purpose here. Which we will do so, but I guess in a turn or two. What's the likelihood that these guys can take Titan's Notch or whatever before the orcs come to Blackfang? We're not allied with these guys. You know what? Go around this way. We are allied with these guys. Yeah, go around this way. We have to go down this way anyway. Grimgor still has to be destroyed, and we still have all of Goldtooth to destroy and conquer. Plus, I guess technically Catha is at war with us, though we, let's face it, I don't really care about that right now. Anyway, let's see who else needs to move. Tamurkhan, any likelihood of catching Volmir? I don't see him. Did he die attacking Ingomar here? Huh. Alright, I have no idea what the heck happened there, but I guess it's also not super important, so Tamurkhan hit Beckhofen. And then I guess we still have to knock out Griffinwood, where Draika has returned. I've forgotten what Draika's defeat trait is already. I remember it being pretty lackluster, but let's just double check it. Hey, a Lichbone Pennant, nice. Income from sacking settlements, possibly nice. And fealty has increased with KETZAK to max. Well, isn't that lovely? Because that's a Wood Elf defeat. Oh, beautiful. Which means we have our first Chaos Frost Dragon, and our first Fimir Warriors, and if we should fight the Chieftain battle, we can max that out. His army will be ready very quickly at this rate. Oh, happy day. Wintertooth, and wait, Worldwalkers still don't have the outpost from you, eh? What do we actually need from you? We have these three. Oh, we need 1 unit of Skinwolves, regular Skinwolves from you. Because we'll get 2 more from Mournhell. Alright, let me just double check that. I want to make sure that we have this army maxed out in such a way that we have everything we want from them. I was also considering, at least, getting the Chaos War Shrine on Mammoth. Although I'm not entirely sure that would be a better idea than getting a Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle on a War Shrine instead. it would still give the regular Ruinous Glory leadership thing, although wait. Do the Mammoth War Shrines do anything else? They favor the Ruinous powers that they give the regular Giver of Glory, which is up to 20% physical resistance. That's not bad. That's not bad. Oh, but here's an issue. I believe these guys won't buff the mammoth. Yeah, see, they only buff the feral mammoths and the frost dragons and regular war mammoths. Not the War Shrine mammoths, meaning we probably shouldn't bother with the War Shrine mammoths. We'll just do the Nurglite one instead. I think that's fine. Also, Warnhell, get Mentor, I guess. Just don't die again or don't get wounded again for no reason. Yeah, alright, so keep the one Skin Wolf unit, and just to double check Mr. Mournhowl, and we will get 2 more Skin Wolves out of this. There's none here. Feral Mammoth, War Mammoth, Chieftain abilities. So yeah, we'll have 4. 4 Skin Wolves and was it 6 Fimir? Something along those lines. And then we'll have a bunch of Feral Mammoths and Frost Dragons and all that crap to max out the army. I guess, Azabor, you are still one thing that you can't cast, but KETZAK can cast, but he doesn't have Nurglite healing, which would work nicely with us. Yeah, we need a Chaos Sorcerer in this. Alright, do we have a spare Sorcerer room? Not here, in Carrick Vrag. Next turn. Next turn we should have capacity. And hopefully we don't lose the one with the iron skin, because I think that would be nice. And frankly, we should probably give one to Norvegicist as well, just to heal up. Anyway, Epidemius. You are moving to Fortress of the Dam, but I think you have to do an encamp stance. I don't know whether you should be able to... Oh! These guys are going to take it, most likely. Honestly, that's fine. We don't really care about this territory all that much. And this would allow us to just sort of have a ally this way. Let them have all this, and they can fight with Nagrith. I really wanted to send Epidemius elsewhere, as he's grown bored of obliterating the Slaaneshi here. So yeah, we can do that just fine. Still have to move back around to take Blood Mountain, and there's a likelihood of rebellion, let's say, at the Silver Tower, being -3 and still very much Slaaneshally corrupt. So I guess I'll have to loop back around for it with Epidemius, assuming that these guys take the fortress. Alright, that's fine. Slug Blister. I guess if we're going to make use of you, we could do so for the same purpose. You can head out to the Silver Tower of Sorcerers, and if they rebel there, you can instantly go there and deal with it. You're costing us a lot of money, sir, so you better make yourself useful. Or favor, whatever. Alright, the rest of that looks good to me. Let's double check Diplo, though we probably don't have to keep checking Diplo so much in this particular campaign, as several others. And Decadent Host wants peace. We could risk it and ask them for money, assuming that this army would fail, and it might. Well, wait. Defeat Grimgor. Grimgor's returned and fairly close to us as well. Might have to have a little bit of a rematch in between him and Norvegicust. And you want us to defeat Grimgor as well? I think we can manage. Alright, beautiful. And beautiful indeed. And of course, we could probably put a few more Chaos Dwarf things in Norvegicust's army from our Chaos Dwarfen allies. And thus, we have... Wait, do we have the... Did I never build an outpost here? I did not. Alright, the Volare. We're gonna need you. Huh. I see they have neither blunderbusses nor fireglaves available to them. They do have hell cannons and iron demons. Please actually build the train building, dude. Don't screw me on this. Not on this. Alright. I suppose if we really wanted to, we could also put Bull Centaur renders with our Beastmen army. It would be much better than the poor Centaurs. Especially vanilla Centaurs as opposed to SFO Centaurs. But anyway, construct the outpost. We'll do so. And we don't have an alliance with you as yet, but it's... Oh, actually, we do have a defensive one. Alright, that's fine. Do we have something at Uzkalak? No. Outpost, Uzkalak. And what do we have here? They do have fireglaves, at least. And we are starting to rack up a little bit of that allegiance with them. Nice. Alright, Servants of the Conclave, a little bit less likely. We now need a defensive alliance with these guys. And for a mere 482 money, I think we can do so. Plus, they'll give us a vision of the... they'll give us vision of Goldtooth. Black Fortress. Metal cannon to upgrade the building. Build trains. Why does no one like trains? What is this? Outpost here and Black Fortress. I mean, we could also do, what, Black Tower of Gorgoth? This is just Tower of Gorgoth. Tower of Gorgoth, whatever. Pig Barter. Now I'll go Black Fortress. There you go. Alright, that was 6,000 money on Outposts game, so we better, those things better pay dividends after a while. Now, when we've got upgrades to do, let's start from the bottom again. It's probably easier to get... Yeah, okay, you don't have the right kind of plague. Kislev, we're not investing into right now. There's just no real reason. And then the same thing with Beckhofen, at least for now. What about the other territories? Blackrock, we have Swelling Mouth at the Cliff of Beasts, but it hasn't spread anywhere. Hopefully it will, but for now, we can at least get the cheap microbial bog, or... No, let's get the Cultist Camp Obsidian. And the Blighted Grove, you can have the microbial bog as well. This is actually a pretty solid territory. This might be our most money-making territory, so we do need the place to be up and running ASAP. And you know what? Let's build the Cultist Outpost with wood as well, because it reduces construction costs. Alright, next up, Eastern Oblast, we have no plague here, and it might be a good place to actually set loose a plague, once we have the requisite infections. Would be nice to start upgrading all these, but, and we might still do so. Palace of Thieves, 4,000 gold, I think we can get you up to level 1. This is not the construction cost reduction plague, unfortunately. Igorov is damaged, but, it's 130, let's just heal it. This place is also kind of too far or too close to the enemies, so for now we're not going to invest in it. Crystal Spires, you're looking good to me. Tower of Flies, you're okay. Gashka Drak, no plagues. Man, we need better plague spreading. Game, come on now. Carrick Vrag. We could upgrade 3.2k, eh? Gorger Rock is kind of causing us problems right now. You know what, I'm going to wait on this one. There is a plague nearby, which very well might spread. This is the construction cost plague, though. Blizzard Peak, Vile Synthesis, and Cultist Enclave. And we don't technically need the extending tendrils here. I really want to upgrade Saber Mountain. Why aren't you spreading? Hey, okay. I guess you're going to go for Fungi of Defilement for infections and control. Though this might also be a decent place to just put up a bunch of capacities. Plague-ridden and Chaos Sorcerers versus Exalted Heroes of Nurgle and Cultists. On the other hand, capacities are probably better set up here, because those places might actually need to defend themselves, so maybe not. At least not right now. Alright, fine. Go for infections here. You growth thing will be deleted later. I'm just gonna hope the plague spreads and ignore the unclean cops for now. And Gashka Drek? Wait, I went the wrong way. Writhing Fortress. Swelling Tongue. Yes, beautiful. Increase that replicating molds level. We can get more infections per turn for more plagues to reduce more construction costs. Why not? And I would really like to build one of these, the demonic egg sacs, just so that we get bile trolls and chaos spawn. Frankly, we'll probably need these in 2 locations, but yeah, and I know this place should probably have advanced buildings, but it will eventually have room for advanced buildings as well. Alright, rest of this looks good to me, I think. The swelling tongues here, I can increase the growth a little bit. And just so that we don't have to build growth buildings in the minor settlements. I think that makes more sense. And that's it, alright. No more money to spend on that, at least no more plagues to make. Now, Tamurkhan, how damaged are you? A little bit damaged. Are you so damaged that you can't fight fight one of these battles? No, of course not. Let's level you up and let's head into it. Let's get another pointed mentor. Then... what were we gonna do with you? Bubonic Buzzers, we probably will want to upgrade our Chosen, and we'll want to upgrade our Toad Dragons as well. Yeah, there's no way we'll be able to max out your fightiness together with all this and reduce that. Oh well, not a big deal. Let's buff up our Toad Dragons, and our Chosen as well with Terminal Infection. We're still gonna keep him in this army, and then start moving through Woundmaker as well. May want to get our thick-skinned for you. Yeah, his armor is surprisingly low, and his effective HP is pretty massive, but it can be more massive. Also notice that he doesn't have the He doesn't have magical damage, so I'm still wondering whether it would be better to give him the Plague Flail as opposed to... Okay, wait. Armor Fortune... Forbidden Rod, Okay, somewhere in... Oh, right, we have a Torment Blade as well. But it doesn't give magical damage. We have a sort of anti-hero somewhere. Gives him magical damage. The Lich-Realm Pendant is pretty good on the Carnival of Decay here. I'll think about it. Honestly, it doesn't really matter all that much right now. I also need to take another look at the items, delete some, form them into, you know, more useful items, and then give a few to everybody else. Do you have a plague on you? No, you don't. So this contagious thing isn't going to be super useful to you, sorry. Scarred Vet for you, sir, and I guess Thick Skin, do you need more armor as well? The corrosion, I guess, on the armor is making us a little bit less armor than we might like to be. You definitely want to get Mentor. Don't really care for Infernal Champion, and all of your good stuff is maxed out. Alright, let's take another look at this. Weapon strength for Hero's Army. Small buff for the various riders and stuff. Putrid Body. You know what? I was thinking that Rancid Breath, or Rancid Reach rather, and Putrid Body would be good. However, there's another thing. This portion of the army does take a long time to reach the actual combat, so Pestilent Decay outside of settlement battles might not actually be all that useful. And maybe the same thing goes for Putrid Body. It's a relatively small area and only around where this guy's healing. Though I do like the idea of the Aura of Pestilence, especially if we combine it with the Glittering Scales, another 5 melee attack reduction. I still can't decide. Minus 10 melee attack near the thing that's healing everybody is pretty darn decent. What we can do is this, though. Warrior Wizard makes you defend a little bit. We don't really care about your weapon strength at all. Cooldown reduction will give you Curse of the Leper and Fleshy Abundance casting faster, and I think that's probably the way to go. Or at the very least, Stream of Corruption spam, because frankly, these things are so expensive, we're not casting them on cooldown anyway. Spell resistance on the same bed. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Spell Slinger. And I will probably end up going Putrid Body. Don't get me wrong, I like the weapon strength idea, it's just that I'm just not sure it's worth it. But anyway, we still need to upgrade Mr. Grookmer. You, Magical Reserves, and Earthing, I really don't like. Ooh. Nurgle Corruption adjacent provinces, +1. If only that was faction-wide. Yeah, I'm not big on Savage Dominion. I don't think it's a useful spell, so Mantle of Gorog for you. We could pop this onto Tamurkhan as needed, and let's max that out. Alright, the rest of that looks good to me. Just before I forget, because I will, we need to... we need to summon some heroes. There's a Plague Rush guy here. I also wanted a Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle. And the closest place to build him is down here, right? It's gonna be a while. He's gonna have to cross the mountains. Oh, that's gonna be a hassle. We could just build something here to allow us to recruit them, right? We'll need to go to tier 3. How are we at Volksgrad? Oh, nowhere near. I'm just seeing whether there's anywhere else nearby where we could get the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle, but it doesn't look like it, and it does look like we'll have to cross the mountains, but oh well. We need to start doing it anyway. Chaos Sorcerer. Oh, I thought your capacity was going up. Oh, that was next turn. Oh, for the love of... Okay, never mind. Tamurkhan, time to fight. KETZAK Thimdorak. Tamurkhan sleeps fitfully, for his dreams are plagued with visions of horror in the Garden of Nurgle. Unnatural monsters corrupt grandfather's putrid realm, and dark powers dare to mar its beauteous corruptions. In the depths of slumber, Tamurkhan hears a being of great power call for him to wake in the land of bewitched dreaming. As the interlopers descend, only the Fimir Balefiend KETZAK Thimdorak stands beside Tamurkhan, ready to banish the invading scum from the precious realms of decay. The screeching hordes must be put to death before their presence alone taints Nurgle's fetid garden. Okay, and oh, it's a pile of Tzeentchins, and actually a fairly decent one by the look of it. The Snipey Soul Grinders of Tzeentch. They've got a Lord of Change, a couple of Mutilith Vortex Beasts, as well as a bunch of Chaos Warriors and Chosen. Okay, wait a moment. I never got hates Zinch, and this was the one situation where we might have actually gotten some use out of it, but oh well, teleport. Alright, and reinforcements expected. Casualties high, Pyrrhic victory. Yes, game. Yes, now we're doing it. Go. Haunted by nightmarish visions of Nurgle's destruction, Tamurkhan has been summoned to the realm of decay through the mysterious magics of KETZAK Fimdirak. The Fimir transports Tamurkhan to Nurgle's garden, where he must fend off the invading hordes that aim to devastate the Urfather's unholy dominion. As waves of attacking demons approach, Tamurkhan leads his festering host to end this incursion, dooming every foolish enemy of the Lord of Pestilence to a vile and putrid end.
Unwelcome demons who corrupt Nurgle's realm. KETZAK now bids me to heed the call from beyond. If I fall, I will drag you down too.
Alright, here we go, the realm of Nurgle, we return at last. Definitely don't see enough of these places outside of the Realms of Chaos campaign, or the heck that thing is called. I haven't done it since the release of the game, because why would you, when Immortal Empires exists. But anyway, I love these maps, and they definitely need to add the Realms of Chaos to Immortal Empires in some way, manner, fashion, or form. Anyway, looking like a pretty nice battle. You can't see it on the screen right now because obviously this is a replay, but this is a you must survive sort of thing. There's 500 seconds on the clock, and the enemies will spawn endlessly, attacking you until that time is over. The only objective is Tamurkhan must survive. Though funnily enough, this is an almost impossible object to fail. Your army might die overwhelmed, but it's very difficult to kill Tamurkhan. I mean, he's not the highest damage dealing lord, at least in terms of one-on-ones, as we saw how long it takes him to bring down a ancient tree man and stuff like that, wherein Archaon, for example, from the other campaign would have brought that thing down in like 5 hits, and those 5 hits would happen in like 5 seconds, because he attacks really fast. Tamurkhan takes like the entire battle, but Tamurkhan has an insane amount of HP and tons of effective HP to the point of ridiculousness. It's very, very hard to get through all that HP and regeneration all at once. Anyway, I tried to use the unspeakable foulness on the flying unit. What I figured was maybe it would miss the unit and then go by them and drop down upon the enemy army. Unfortunately, it looks like the unspeakable foulness, despite seemingly being a projectile, simply dissipates, which I guess does make sense. If you're vomiting up a bunch of primarily liquid, it's probably going to disperse up in the air. Anyway, Tamurkhan and his first pet toad dragon move out to fight the enemy Mutalith Vortex Beasts, as they, in their quick movements, have moved up ahead of the enemy army. Some Spawn and Chaos Warriors are moving in as well, but hopefully we can damage these heavily before they get here, and both Tamurkhan and the Toad Dragon should be just fine in terms of HP. I was also hoping that by being out front, the enemy Lord of Change would drop down upon them and try to fight them, but alas, it looks like he bypassed them and decided to drop down upon our Chaos Warriors with great weapons and Plague Ogres as well. Was this a good idea? I somehow doubt it. And I don't think this thing's stats are high enough to do too much about that. Now, we haven't moved in the rest of our army as yet, but they are going to start moving in to help Tamurkhan out, especially now that a Soul Grinder has arrived. Though, fortunately, it does appear to be focusing Tamurkhan. The Toad Dragon is in a little bit more trouble here, though, of course, we have plenty of healing available to us. Now, we have been keeping our units of Rot Knights in reserve, and we're going to... Ooh, I like the flora here. That looks quite nice. We're going to send them around the enemy army to hit the enemy range units and, well, pretty much the other army, the entire army in the flanks, while KETZAK, our Lord and Hero Assassin, goes after the Lord of Change, who is already in trouble, admittedly, but KETZAK hits very, very hard for 1.2k with 97 melee attack. And he should bring down that Lord of Change, no problem. And the Rot Knights can, let's face it, function without him, even if he does usually lead their charges. Right into the enemy's flanks, whether it be Halberdiers or Pink Horrors. Unfortunately, the Halberdiers were faced away from the charge of the Rot Knights, meaning they get hit pretty hard. And the Toad Dragons are going to get bailed out a little bit with the Rot Knights moving in to help, though they have received a heal at this point, and are, well, at least this Toad Dragon and Tamurkhan are both roughly even at about 20% HP losses. The rest of our army is arriving. The units of Toad Dragons, Plague Ogres and Chaos Warriors and Chosen, smashing the enemy army between the two. Now, if that looks too easy, that's alright, because we've got more enemies on the way as well. Plenty more, in fact, as we still have plenty of seconds on the clock. It looks like Flyers at this time around, a combination of Furies and Flamers and Screamers coming. Oh, and I see some Pink Horrors as well. And we do have to be careful about the Flamers in particular, as they will fry they will fry, well, pretty much anything. You gotta love those Flamers. Definitely had so much fun with the Fire Army in my Archaon campaign. Well, I was about to say my Archaon campaign, specifically because they had Flamers, but I have a Fire Army in every single campaign. Let's face it. Very nice. Alright, looks like the Soul Grinder is still fighting, but not for too much longer. With 100 HP, it will drop and be very... Ow! It doesn't do the sad animation. Well, at least it's not sad. You know, when it just, like, stops moving, it just looks like down, like, oh, I lost. I always find those adorable, but for some reason, it just disappeared here. I wonder why. I wonder if it's random, and sometimes they disappear, and sometimes they get sad. Anyway, the Screamers and the other range units are in trouble. The Flamers have been ripped apart by the Rot Knights, and now we're moving towards those Pink Horrors. But if that still seems too easy for you, the enemies just keep on coming and coming. And speaking of coming, the reinforcements are actually Slaaneshi units rather than Tzeentch units. It looks like the Slaaneshi want in on the action, as they usually do, and a Lord of, or Exalted Keeper of Secrets rather, will lead with a regular Keeper of Secrets. Following, definitely have to be careful about that, and our Toad Dragon will meet it in combat. Alright. The party's in the Garden of Nurgle, I guess. Minus Khorne. If anything, it's weird that there's massive battles happening and Khorne hasn't joined the fray, but it looks like he's the only faction that doesn't participate here. Anyway, the Toad Dragon is going to back away a little bit as it, well, sort of chases other units around, and Tamurkhan can continue distracting the Lords of Change. Not the Lords of Change, I'm too used to Tzeentch now. The Keepers of Secrets. And it looks like a Lash of Slaanesh comes down, but frankly, a little bit of a waste to pop it on Rot Knights, who are just not going to get particularly affected by it. The rest of our units are streaming forward past all this Nurglish flora, and I guess flora and fauna are kind of one in this thing, because we got a lot of tentacles and stuff growing out of those trees, and eyes and such. But anyway, you got to love the Realms of Chaos. Devs, just add them. You already have the maps. Think of a way to include them in the Mortal Empires. I mean, damn. Just without all that, you have to go to the Realms nonsense that you have in the regular campaign. I mean, it's nice to do it once, but it gets pretty tedious fast, just like the Vortex campaign got tedious in Total Warhammer 2. And no, I just have them be north of the Chaos Waste or something, and maybe you have to travel through the Chaos portals within the Chaos Wastes to get there. There you go, and then you just put them on the map. Frankly, I'm kind of surprised that modders haven't done it, but maybe it's not a possible thing to do. And I suppose at the same time, somebody will figure it out, I'm sure. Anyway, the Keepers of Secrets keep on fighting and keep on keeping on and keep on keeping those secrets, while enemy reinforcements continue to arrive. Another Soul Grinder of Tzeentch taking shots at somebody here. Ooh, and it looks like our Rot Knights. That's a good way to actually lose Rot Knights. 5 kills on it, probably 5 Rot Knights to its name. Those Magi Javelins are pretty high damage dealing. And we got more Slaaneshi moving in as well. Yet another Keeper of Secrets. Lots of greater demons we're seeing from this particular battle. Funnily enough, the most annoying thing is this little six clocks floating up in the sky. Tamurkhan's army has absolutely no anti-air, none whatsoever. So we can't do anything about this at all. And he's just gonna keep floating up there and annoying us with repeated uses of Searing Doom while we fight below. Kinda getting a little bit of a taste of my own medicine from the Malachi campaign, wherein we take so much advantage of the fact that the enemy can do nothing about thunder barges and gyrocopters half the time. But anyway, still fighting, yet another soul grinder will bite the dust. Let's see if this one becomes sad or just gets banished. Surrounded by Rock Knights as it is, it's not going to stand much of a chance. And the Rot Knights, this one disappears as well. The Rot Knights wanted revenge. Could it be that they disappear when they fight in the Realm of Chaos and they become sad when they fight in the material plane? Wait, shouldn't it be the other way around? I don't actually think that's the thing, because I doubt that anybody thought that far ahead, but anyway. Looks like the Tzeentchian army is once more overrun, and well, we've got even more reinforcements moving onto the field. Several units of Fiends of Slaanesh have accompanied the Keepers of Secrets into the fray, but Tamurkhan and the rest of our units are still fighting. Still getting those heals, though we are starting to take damage already, or not already at this point. The Chaos Chariots of Nurgle still have their models, perhaps, would have reached their healing cap and are relatively low in HP. Some of the Chaos Warriors are at half. Our Chaos Sorcerer has taken damage, and we got about a quarter or so damage on many units, but almost every single one of them has reached the healing cap at this point. Nurgle's pretty great for being on the defensive like this, especially if we had some, artillery, but we don't have in this army. But anyway, pretty great for this particular purpose, as we can just keep healing, but once we've reached our healing cap, then it starts becoming more dangerous, especially with these darn Tzeentchi soul grinders, as they can do so much damage to individual models when they snipe things. Alright. That said, no, I was about to talk about the balance of power, but it doesn't really matter because it changes every like 30 seconds as more and more enemies arrive on the field. And hey, you gotta admit, this is a pretty great quest battle. 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes straight, effectively, of just straight up combat of non-stop enemies. We even had to back off a few of our units, like our Pestigors, which have not only reached their healing cap, but have lost nearly half their number and half their HP as well. And keeping those guys back as they're pretty fragile. Definitely got to rush forward towards that new Soul Grinder who has gotten another 7 kills. And unlike the undead, our healing, while nice, doesn't revive dead combatants, which is obviously an issue. Especially for critical units like our Rock Knights. Wouldn't care so much if it was just Chaos Warriors being killed, but oh well. Oh, and it looks like the Soul Grinder takes a shot at KETZAK back here, but KETZAK's fine. He's just running around killing off single entities. We've also split off our army at this point, where the Plague Ogres and the Chaos Warriors and Chosen, led by our Chaos Sorcerer, who I keep forgetting to rename, because he shouldn't be Uzul, especially not outside an Archaon campaign. But anyway, yeah, our army has separated the Fast Movers, the Toad Dragons, the Rot Knights up there fighting the Tzeentchians, while the Demonettes are getting absolutely ripped apart by those Plague Ogres. Damn. Can't wait to have even more Plague Ogres in this army, because they're nice and effective. And once again, I do want some Bile Trolls, just gotta think about the way we do it. If we have time in this campaign, and we manage to separate Kargan the Crazed from Norvegicus to have his own army, and then Kargan the Crazed could do Plague Ogres in combination, or is it Bile Ogres? Bile Trolls, there we go, that's the thing. That's what confused me. Plague Ogres, Bile Trolls, that's the one. We could use the Bile Trolls in combination with a bunch of, aspiring champions and Chaos Warriors and Chosen, as Kargan the Crazed likes that sort of thing. Anyway, looks like more enemy units are beginning to be banished, and I think this is the last of them. This Keeper of Secrets is dying, and the Herald of Tzeentch is being banished up in the air as well. With the last of the enemies fallen and the clock finally running out, it looks like Tamurkhan has managed to survive. Oh wow, look at that. Our Toad Dragon has reached the healing cap up to about half of its HP. A very, very nice battle. Over 10 minutes of non-stop combat, and unsurprisingly, considering the sheer amount of enemies we faced, a heroic victory for our trouble. Ooh, alrighty, good stuff. That was a much tougher battle than the KETZAK battle, and certainly a ton more troops with 500 seconds of non-stop enemies just coming and spawning. And I really wasn't expecting the Slaaneshi reinforcements there as well, but maybe Tzeentch and Slaanesh joined forces to take out Nurgle, or at least that's what it might have been implying there. Certainly interesting to see. Could have used a little bit of help, Corn, but not really. We were fine. And it's not like Tamurkhan was going to die there, even if the rest of his army might have gotten damaged. And our poor new Toad Dragon reached its healing cap, though to be fair, almost our entire army did. Anyway, nice job. We could get 100 infections, which is nice, but I'm still inclined to take the money. We still need econ for armies, so that's the plan. Ooh, 109 kills on the Rust Guts. Very, very nice. Impressive. Of course, all of the Rot Knights got plenty of kills as well, with, by the looks of it, the Carnival of Decay taking the MVP in that battle. Anyway, offers tribute. And that will max out the Savage Savant Devoted thing for KETZAK. Lovely. And then there were four more of these quest battles. Ooh, I'm excited to see the rest of them. And even more so now. You sit in Beckhofen so that you can heal to full in a single turn. And once again, it looks like we won't need the Hates Tzeentch thing. Now, Defeated Draca gives us... Oh, right, it's only immunity to Athalor and attrition. Yeah, I remember it being terrible, so we don't need to wait to put it on Azubor, because, yeah, it's a waste of our time. It's a waste of everybody's time. They need to give Draca a better defeat trait. Like, in addition to this, kind of like Daniel's defeat trait, he has a sort of useless aspect to it for many factions, which is plus 20 relations with Kislev, but then he also gives minus 50% a reduction in attrition from all sources in the army, which is fantastic. Whereas Drake is just Athalor and attrition alone immunity, which is really specific already, and on top of that, nothing else useful. Minus 5 control to the enemy enemy's territory. Ooh. Who cares? Alright, anyway. What do we have to do this turn? Well, we do have money to spend. Again, we don't have infections. I forgot whether I checked this turn. No, I already checked this turn, so I guess we could just end the turn and spend more money next turn. Inclined to start... well, not in this place, but in certain places, maybe it's just better if we start building some stuff up. Like Yechich and Plesk, get those upgraded so that they could at least build their level 1s and 2s. It's gonna take a while to get these things. You know what? Upgrade the entire province, effectively. Oh, Volksgrad. Regardless of the fact that we don't have the plague yet, and since we don't yet, switch to Plague Gods and Nursery instead, rather than Foster Cults, for the additional growth rate. Speed it up a little bit. Now I imagine we're good. Plagues can be ignored. I mean, I guess we could go to the chieftain options. KETZAK, we can now get another Fimir, 2 more Fimir. We do want that army up and running, and I guess 2 more of these Chaos Frost Dragons. It's gonna be a real expensive army, but what can you do? You still need levels more than hell, sorry buddy. And we also will want this stuff for Tamurkhan, but right now it's not needed. And we've got the Chaos Dwarf stuff already. Alright. Looking good, Azubor. I think while we won't be able to get the full army up and running in a single turn, he'll be able to start moving essentially next turn, which is quite lovely. Or possibly the turn after that if we want to go here and then get the troops up and running the turn after. But anyway, skip the rest of this, including the cults and the outpost stuff, and turn. We got other things to do. Oh, but what we don't have is time, unfortunately. Let's end the turn, though. Go join war against Goldtooth. We will. Just wait, Draj, wait. Yeah, you can relax. It's coming. Rakadrin's not going to declare war on us yet, surprisingly. They're right beside us, and our territories are more or less unprotected, but we've got more armies on the approach, and more armies will mean it's more difficult for the enemy to mission aborted. Ah, Grimgor got defeated by somebody. I guess his army wasn't that strong in terms of its survival. Yeah, it looks like these guys are taking Mountains of Morn territory. That's fine. I'm actually quite happy with that, as I don't want enemy forces moving up northward through the mountains. What I do want is to try to get Gorger Rock from these guys. Though by the looks of it, they're still super disinclined to trade it. Minus 77 is pretty darn ridiculous for something that isn't worth anything. Random territory in the middle of all this, in the middle of a bunch of our territories, not connected with the province, A, and B, on top of all that... Oh, you're immune to plagues now. Saber Mountain's not going to get the plague that way. I just hope that this one spreads here. What was I saying? Oh, and it doesn't have any trade goods either. Maybe if we get something from Cathay. But anyway, with that, folks, we are once more out of time, and I am going to have to call the episode here. Next time, Tamurkhan keeps moving. We'll wipe out Draca for good, most likely, with both armies together, as the Fimir army should be ready to go next turn, unless I'm mistaken. We can not reach Nagenhof, so we can go right to the edge of our territory, and then we'll get the piles of Fimir and the army before we attack Nagenhof. And the 2 Frost Dragons as well. It's going to drop us back down to like 3k gold per turn, but I don't see how we can avoid it. We do have to get the army on the field after all. And we might also, let's just see here. Alright, these guys are sieging, eh? Alright, Epidemius is just going to sit there channeling. Finally, he gets the chance to channel. And we'll see what happens here at the Fortress of the Damned, and who wins. And then once they're done, we will move elsewhere. Anyway, more Tamurkhan to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. And wow, that's a lot of Marauder Chieftains. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.